Good morning. This is Mornings with Meep, and I'm here to announce the rebooting of Meep's Math Matters. Now, it's been over a decade since I did the last Meep's Math Matters video, and here's the other aspect. Yeah, the technology has come a long way. I didn't have a webcam back then, yada yada. But what I am trying to do is build up a series of videos based around what I would call probabilistic reasoning and quantifying or quantification. No, this is not about Bayesian reasoning yet. I might get to Bayesian reasoning eventually, but it has more to do with what I would say is expected values and optimizing certain things and how different probabilities shake out. Again, this isn't about Bayesian reasoning yet. And the reason why I'm doing it is two things. One is the GameStop follies, and it's just really a side issue where someone was bringing up martingale betting. And I want to explain why martingale betting doesn't work. And it's a very old concept in that it doesn't work. And the problem known as gambler's ruin is something good to know. And it actually has practical effects with regards to if you want to be a gambler. So that's one type of probabilistic reasoning. But the other type, of course, has to do with what's been going on with COVID, and specifically people trying to think through life expectancy. And a lot of people do not understand what that means and what the implications are. I actually have this on a historical page from the Social Security Administration on life expectancies in different years. And so we see 1940 through 1990, and that gives you an idea of when this page was originally written. This is old, but the numbers here are correct. And this has to do with what is the life expectancy. Let's ignore all the specific details about Social Security, but let's just go from, let's say that you're eligible at age 65. And that was full retirement age all over here. The eligibility at age 62, I don't want to get into that right now. So what are these numbers, and do they make sense to us? They're not showing the life expectancy from birth, which is what's often quoted in the news. Okay. And I talk about this a lot, but I think I really need to show people how these are calculated. No, I'm not going to teach you enough to pass actuarial exams. That's not the point of this. The point is that thinking probabilistically in this way is actually not natural to humans. And that's why I keep saying not Bayesian, because actually a lot of people do behave in a Bayesian manner. This has to do with conditional probabilities. This has to do with conditional expectation. This has to do with expected values. A lot of people don't really understand how probabilities in different circumstances relate to each other and have an intuition that is wrong. Well, okay, you say, oh, intuition is wrong, it's paradox. No, no, no. What it means is you need to train your intuition. Intuition is just unconscious knowledge or unconscious skill. You're not thinking about it. This is what it feels like the answer should be. A lot of people who have good mathematical intuition, especially with regards to probability, they weren't born that way. They had to learn it. You have to train your mind to look at problems a certain way. Even though math has come easy to me throughout my life, that doesn't mean I knew this stuff right away. It took a lot of years of looking at this and thinking about it. Okay, so maybe you won't be able to train your intuition deeply, that you have a gut feel for probabilities, and that's very unlikely. Very few people actually do have a good gut feel for probabilities. But even if we can't make it unconscious, I can show you the conscious way to think through some of these issues. And no, I'm not going to give you anything very complicated with regards to calculations. I'm just going to explain how different items relate to each other. So specifically here, what we have is, and it's not on here, but the life expectancy in calendar year 1940, okay, so the period life expectancy, was, let's say, about 70 years for males. And the thought people had was, oh, well, Social Security was set up with the retirement age being 5 years less than life expectancy. Okay, if we go from age 65. But if we actually look at the number here, and that's 12.7, that's life expectancy from age 65. And that's, again, a period, not a cohort um, measurement. But it's not going to be that different from age 65. So it's not 5 years that they have left. It's almost 13 years they have left if they go on Social Security. And that we look at the numbers to the left, and now we start seeing what's going on. What percentage of the population that made it to age 21? And remember, in 1940, those people would have been through the Spanish flu pandemic. Okay, and actually in 1950, if you were age 65 in 1950, you went through the Spanish flu pandemic, and you went through in ages that were hard hit. So first we have to posit you got to age 21, and then from 21 to age 65, did you survive? Look at this. These are very low percentages. Now, it's a much higher now, but 54%, only 54% who were 21 made it to age 65 in 1940. And that has repercussions on the population life expectancy overall, but that means it's not so surprising that the actual life expectancy during Social Security is much longer than 5 years. Still, that so many people survive to retirement now has repercussions, and the amount of time they're in retirement has repercussions now for Social Security policy. We can't have these debates about where retirement ages should be, okay, and what the benefits should be. Yes, you have the Social Security Administration actuaries doing their thing, but they're not decision makers. They're just monitors. They just tell you what's going on, and here are different projections, and this is what could happen. Well, a lot of politicians just ignore those projections. Oh, well, those are the numbers nerds, blah, blah, blah. Numbers are magic. We can make them do anything. Well, yes, you can, but you can dig into it. Just because you're not the numbers nerd doesn't mean you can't question the things that went into projections. But you do need to know some stuff in order to be able to question some of the public policy. And one of the things I do not like in various public policy debates, there's two, and they're very opposite things, but they amount to the same thing. One is, as I said, oh, those are just the numbers nerds. They can make numbers do anything. We're going to go with a decision that makes us feel good. Well, that can lead to disaster, leading to pension boosts that are unsustainable, leading to too early retirement ages, and all of these have repercussions. So that's one end. Oh, statistics lie. We can't get anything from them. Therefore, let's just do what we want anyway and ignore all the numbers. Okay, that's one area of disaster. The other end is, well, those are the experts. They should be deciding. Let them do what they want. The issue is, of course, all of these are based on assumptions. They can get those assumptions wrong. So that's one. But also, implicit in all of this, even if the projections are right, there are trade-offs. And what trade-offs people want to make, it shouldn't be up to the experts. It should be up to all the people who are affected by the decision. So they need to be able to question the assumptions that go into the projections. They need to be able to interpret what kind of trade-offs come in the outcome. So what happens if we raised the eligibility age for Social Security old age benefits from 62 to 65? What do you think would happen? Well, obviously, people wouldn't be taking Social Security old age benefits at age 62, like so many people do now. But a lot of those people stopped working years before age 62 to begin with. What might happen? Well, what might happen is we get more Social Security disability program payments going out, because there are people, and I mean, I've I'm, closer to 50 than 40 at this point. Um, Physically, it tends to get worse and it gets more and more difficult over time. And a lot of people are in jobs that they don't enjoy. So, you know, uh, you're out of the workforce, you need money. Well, you can apply for disability. And I don't know what the qualifications for that is, but that's a potential outcome if you raise the eligibility age. For right now, your benefits don't accumulate past age 70. What if we push that up? There's a lot of different trade-offs here, and it will behoove people well to be able to use the projections that are made, make decisions. It shouldn't just be up to the numbers nerds. It should be everybody. Everybody who's going to be affected should be able to have a say, but it needs to be based on reality. Okay? It can't merely be, as in, say, some states where they really have a deep public pension underfunding issue. Oh, we'll just tax the rich. Uh, you need to think through. You can't just throw out slogans. I know it's a lot easier to throw out slogans. Okay. And this is not any particular party. This is politics in general, how people do. But these decisions have repercussions. And one may find the decisions you make, because you're not willing to think through that trade-offs need to be made, you may end up with a far worse situation than what was on offer to begin with when someone was offering a trade-off. So, that's a lot of way to say, yeah, I'm bringing back Meep's Math Matters. I'm going to be starting out with probability distributions. And again, this is not going to be a probability class. I'm not going to give you homework. This is just talking through some of the major concepts in thinking through stuff like life expectancy. Maybe I'll get to the time value of money. Maybe I'll get to what annuity factors are and that kind of thing eventually. But again, I'm not trying to train you to do actuarial exams. What I am trying to help is, what do you need to know to be able to tease out some of the statistics that are being quoted at you in the news? And just saying it's damn lies and statistics, you've lost information. But simply, unthinkingly swallowing the numbers and not pushing back on what they actually mean, that's no good either. So, trying to go for some comprehension, even if you as an individual are not able to calculate the numbers themselves. So come with me on this journey, and I'm looking forward to it.